Welcome to the Testing for Normality of Residuals in ANOVA Models tutorial. In this tutorial, you'll learn how to determine if your residuals in your ANOVA model are normally distributed. Okay, I've already imported the data, and this data has to do with weight gain or weight loss with certain treatment. Now, if you see I have a class statement, my standard GLM environment, I have a Tukey test on the means, but I'm going to need to add one other thing in order to be able to test normality. I'm going to need an output statement. Now, in a previous tutorial, I've spoken about output statements and how to use them. I'm going to call this one outweight. And in particular, I'm interested in the residual, so I'm going to say R equals resid. And that will put in this file my residuals. Now, once I have the residuals, I'm going to use proc univariate. The data set that I'm going to use is outweight, because that is the one, that is the data set that has my residuals. I'm going to put the normal statement in here. This statement will tell SAS to include tests for normality in my output. The variable that I'm interested in is the residuals, which I've named resid. Then I run it, and this will give me my test for normality. In order to run this, I hit the submit button, which is the little man who's running, and I get a lot of output. I'm not going to look at the GLM output right now. I specifically want to look at my test for normality, and that will be given through the proc univariate output. It's just like the proc univariate output that was in the proc univariate tutorial, except that there's a test for normality in here. Now, it provides 4 separate tests: a Shapiro-Wilks test, Kolmogorov-Smirnov, Kramer-von Mises, and Anderson-Darling. The hypothesis on this test, the null hypothesis, is the residuals are normally distributed. The alternative hypothesis is the residuals are not normally distributed. Now, by looking at these p-values are all large. Hence, we would not reject the null hypothesis. Hence, we would assume that the residuals are normally distributed. So, how do you choose which one of the 4 to use? I tell people, use the one that you see most often quoted or cited in your literature. All right, this has been the Testing for Normality in ANOVA Models in SAS tutorial. If you have any questions, please ask or watch this tutorial again.